Hey y'all, and welcome back to Keeping Up with Christy. I'm Christy and this is my husband Neal. Say hey Neal.
Hey y'all.
So tonight Neal decided that he wanted to have Chinese food. But we're trying to do a couple of things. Number one, we're trying to eat a little healthier because we want to make sure he feels the best he can while he's going through his chemo treatment. And then we're also trying to save some money because Neal's out of work right now. And so we decided we would do takeout at home. So what do you like when you go and eat Chinese food?
My favorite thing at Chinese food is the house lo mein.
Yeah, he loves it. So we're gonna make a lo mein noodle recipe that's gonna have lots of veggies in it. We've already got them all kind of like laid out, strewn out everywhere. And I'm prepping some stuff already. We're gonna make that, some lo mein noodles, and we're gonna put shrimp in ours, right?
Yeah, we're gonna do shrimp.
Lots of fresh veggies and shrimp, which will be a good lean protein. And then we're gonna do something that's not so good for us because when we go to Chinese places, we also like to get the crab rangoons.
Like to indulge.
Crab rangoons and egg rolls. And of course those are fried and we're gonna fry them. A lot of times I use my air fryer to do that kind of stuff, but tonight we're actually gonna fry them in some oil. I'm gonna use the real thing and just go for it. But we're gonna be good with the lo mein and then be a little less good with the crab rangoon and the egg rolls. Now, the egg roll recipe, I don't have one online. You'll just kind of have to follow along as we go through it. Somebody taught me how to do them a long time ago, friends of ours in Florida when we lived there.
Yep.
And so we're gonna make those the way we remember how. And then the crab rangoons are gonna be a little different because I found a recipe online of making them, mixing them up and putting them in egg roll wrappers. So that's the worst part about crab rangoons is they're like that big.
Yeah, and you have to make that little fold and everything.
I'm not making
Nah,
all that
why
fold.
doing all that?
So we can make up egg roll wrappers real easy. So we're gonna just make the filling, the stuffing, and then we're gonna put them in egg roll wrappers. And so I have a pan sitting out, just a pan that I'm going to, as we wrap them, we'll just lay them out here, the crab rangoons and the egg rolls, and then we'll fry them all at the same time. Once we have that part done, then we'll make the lo mein because that's fast. All right, so I'm gonna start dropping stuff in here. This recipe will be down below in the description box.
Mixing.
Neal's gonna start mixing. And, but while
What
you're...
we got in here? Cream cheese?
That's cream cheese, and I'm gonna start putting in spices first. But while you're mixing, you can also talk and tell everybody how your first chemo treatment went.
All right.
We'll do a little check-in time while I'll drop, you'll mix. Recipe will be down below.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Well, guys, I wanted to go ahead and tell you also a little bit about my first chemo treatment. It was a week ago now.
Yeah.
I think it's been. Went in for the treatment and started out, everything went well. And then all of a sudden they started speeding up my chemo treatment, how fast they were putting it into my body. And I had some kind of reaction to it. And my blood pressure went sky high, and then all of a sudden I started having these uncontrollable shakes. And so I had some kind of reaction to the chemo. It actually wasn't the actual chemo, it was the biological medicine that they were using that made me sick. So they couldn't get my heart rate down, so I ended up spending one night in the ER just so they could monitor my heart, make sure everything was okay with it, and it was. Had an ultrasound done on my heart, another CAT scan and all that. And all that came back clear. So now the doctor is just trying to get the right recipe for me and giving me some extra medicines to take next time that I go in, which will be on the 31st of August. So y'all be praying for that day that it'll go well. I'm not gonna lie, the first 3 days of this treatment, I thought I was actually on my deathbed. And I've never been so sick in my life as far as being nauseous and that kind of thing. So it was very rough. Got very dehydrated. I had to go back into the hospital and get some fluids by IV, and that was the biggest problem. I was dehydrated. So
yeah, he spent 2 days being sick. So after those 2 days of being sick, he couldn't recover. The doctor told us that there wasn't enough Pedialyte in the house like we could have given him for him to recover from that dehydration. He would just have to come in and get fluids. But of course, they'll let you do that when you're doing chemo. You come back in and just get kind of boosted back up.
Yeah, same place I got my chemo and.
Yeah, and so they did that for him, and he felt like a new man when he came in that Thursday after having the couple of liters of fluid. He was making jokes and acting up.
I was back to myself.
He's back to his usual self. So, all right, in this bowl, Neal has been mixing up the cream cheese, the garlic and onion powder, putting a little Worcestershire sauce, and we did 1 package of course, it's imitation crab meat, which you could describe. Did y'all find this like in the seafood section?
Yeah, it was just, and you know where you find the frozen shrimp and that kind of stuff? It was right beside of it.
But 8 ounces is all you need because you need like a 1 cup measurement.
And I wasn't sure what kind to get. They had this lump kind, and then they also had kind of look like legs, you know, out of the crab leg.
Yeah, no, you just need like the kind that'll kind of flake apart.
I got the flaky kind.
Yeah, and so once that's all mixed in together good, that's really it.
This is gonna be good.
Yeah.
I can see that.
You probably could. Well, I think they have recipes for crab Rangoon dip.
Well, they used to have that crab salad at
Abby, you
places.
want to come closer?
On the salad bar sometimes.
See, that's hilarious. So you can see big, huge chunks of crab meat in there. I guess you could, like, kind of.
Yeah, this is a
like
new,
if you put
new
it,
recipe
if you
for
put
us.
it through a, I mean, I can kind of cut it with my spatula there, but I guess you could put it through like a food processor if you wanted it. Like, you're certainly not going to get big pieces of crab like that.
No, not
at the Chinese restaurant.
No.
But I think for us, we'll probably like it like
We're gonna go for it.
All right, we're just gonna take a couple of spoonfuls. Remember, you gotta have it on the diagonal, and you're gonna just take a couple.
Are you doing a single roll or double roll?
Oh, single.
Single roll.
These aren't going in the air fryer. They'll be absolutely fine in the oil. No problem. But just a couple of spoonfuls. You don't want to make them.
You need a wrap?
Sure. Let me show you the first one real quick.
Okay.
And so you just bring the top over there. You know, kind of squeeze that in, and then pull in your sides, and then you just start rolling. But here at the top, you can use. Well, I usually just use my finger, but.
We're gonna be on video. We'll be.
It's our house. We don't mind, but
Yeah.
you can use a brush if you don't like egg on your finger. But you just kind of put you some. You can also probably just seal it with water.
Yeah.
But when you're frying, and that's what we do when we're in the air fryer. Go ahead and finish rolling that for me, darling. If you're frying up in the oil, you want to make sure there's a good tight seal, and laying it down on its seal like that. That'll kind of help us out. All right, let's work as a team.
Let's do it.
And I'll load you up, and then I'll let you go from there. You might have to smear it around a little bit. We're gonna get this onion, half of it chopped up, kind of skinny little slivers like that. Over here. And then the pan's gonna get hot, and we're gonna put that in there. And then we've got some pork sausage. Now, our pork sausage happens to already be cooked. So we're just gonna put it in here at the end after we kind of get our vegetables moving and grooving. Yes.
Oh yeah, it's on.
It'll start to sizzle in just a second. So, but if you were making this without having already cooked your sausage, this is the point. You would put the sausage in here too, right now. So you would get your sausage actually going first, then add in the onions and the vegetables that we're gonna put in. But we're not doing it in that process because our sausage was cooked already. Yes. And it's just already been seasoned with a little bit of garlic powder and onion powder. But it's just regular, like breakfast sausage. You don't have to use anything special. It's just regular breakfast sausage. So we're gonna end up putting in about 3 cups of just a classic coleslaw mix. You just need cabbage and some carrots.
Hang on, I'm crying.
Are you crying?
Wow.
Baby, don't be so sad.
I missed y'all so much last week. Boy, them onions are stout.
So these are gonna go in the egg roll wrapper and of course be deep fried, but you wanna make sure your sausage is already cooked before you put it in there, and then also kind of soften up your veggies a little bit. I'm not gonna really measure this, like measure.
And this is just coleslaw mix out of the bag.
Yeah, out of the produce section. And I mean, you can certainly shred your own, but go ahead, baby, keep stirring that for me if you would. So it doesn't stick. I'm gonna turn that down a little bit. Try not to sling
Well,
it
now
out.
I feel like I'm cooking now, y'all.
Yeah, try not to sling it out though.
I need a little more oil in it.
I turned it down a bit. And I'm just gonna add in some garlic. It's already minced garlic. A little bit of that. I'm slinging stuff out.
Slinging it everywhere.
Yeah, that cabbage is already getting soft. You see that, Abby? That cabbage is already starting to soften for him. That quick. It was real quick. So we're going to throw in our already cooked sausage now and let that
Brown
all
up a
mix
little bit more.
together. Get it flavor in there with the vegetables.
Look at that. You know what it smells like?
Alright, and then I'm adding a little bit of ginger powder. Brown ginger. And just get a good shake of that in there. And then I'll add some soy sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to add too much. I mean, you don't want it to be real wet. Go ahead, keep cooking for me. You're moving. I'm gonna add just a splash, and don't throw it all out on my. Yes, please.
Sorry.
All right. Maybe a couple of teaspoons, not even a tablespoon. 'Cause we're gonna make a dip with soy sauce in just a bit anyway. And that's what we're gonna use as our, like in lieu of duck sauce, we make our own sauce.
How do you know when this is done?
Well, it's gonna go in an egg roll and be fried, right?
So it's pretty much done now.
So, yeah, it would take a little longer at this point if you were starting with raw sausage, because
Right.
you gotta brown the sausage, drain it, and then put your veggies in. Or I guess you could cook the veggies in that sausage fat.
Couldn't stand it.
I couldn't. Let me just look at it. Get in there. Oh, and it smells good.
It does smell. That ginger, you
That
put that in
ginger
there.
and the soy sauce, you put that in there, and it doesn't smell like breakfast sausage anymore.
It smells like egg rolls.
It smells like our friends that we knew in Florida, who are good friends of ours, who taught us how to make these egg rolls. They just always did equal parts apricot preserves and soy sauce. So we use the low sodium soy sauce, and we do the same thing, equal parts of that. The only difference is I like to add just a little bit of some chopped garlic, because I think that makes everything better. All right, so we've got our sauce made. We're gonna just let it hang out. You can let it sit out room temperature or put it in the fridge, depending on how long you make it ahead of time. So our crab rangoons are done, and now we're gonna stuff our egg rolls. Pot of water getting hot, we're gonna boil our noodles here. If we were real fancy, we might do like rice noodles or something like that. We're just doing spaghetti. That's what I have here at the house, so we're gonna make that
So we're
work.
gonna make work.
So we make our noodle bowls, make our lo mein with some spaghetti. So we got a couple of open boxes, so we have them both out. We're gonna make about a pound of spaghetti, and that's what this water will be boiling for. We'll put salt in it and just cook it. That'll take about 10 minutes. Now over here, I got some, I think it's just, yeah, canola oil. I got some canola oil, and baby, no, that's not for that. Oh, you want me to test it to see if it's ready? I use the other end for that. Abby, we stick a wooden spoon. Y'all seen us do this before?
Oh, it's ready.
If you stick a wooden spoon in there and it does that around that spoon and dances, it's ready. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna drop, stay right there, kiddo. We're gonna drop the crab rangoons first. And we want to make sure that this oil does not get too hot because they'll burn and they won't be warm through and through. So we'll go ahead and load it up, and then I might end up turning the oil down. And then baby, can you find the little like Fry Daddy utensil in that drawer?
Right here?
And then that will be for flipping. Yep. You don't want to let these sit out. You can't make them up and roll them up too early because they'll get too soggy on the bottom. It might stick to your It might stick to your pan. I don't want to overcrowd it. But then you'll just start flipping them. You see that, baby?
Don't grab your plate.
Oh, okay. Go ahead. I'm gonna turn I gotta turn my hot pot down. I want them to flip. You know what I need, baby? Is some tongs, my metal tongs.
Yep.
I need that.
Okay.
You are on it.
Metal tongs.
Thank you, darling. And you'll need some paper towels down on that pan. Working together as a team.
Paper towels, where you hiding?
They're over there on the other side of the table. All right, let's see those fry up real quick. So I've got it turned down, so I don't want them to fry too fast. I think the tongs might work better for these. Just work in batches and get them fried up. They don't take but about 3 minutes, and they'll come out. We'll move on to the next ones. So I'm gonna real quick make the sauce that once the vegetables and the noodles are all done, and the shrimp, then we're gonna throw this sauce all on it, mix it all together, and it's done. So I'm gonna start with the sauce. We'll start with a couple of tablespoons or so, 2 or 3 of soy sauce. You got that, baby?
I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna put in a little bit of oil. Now, it only calls for like a teaspoon of oil. And it's supposed to be sesame oil, which would really add to the flavor. That'd be great, but I don't have it. I'm gonna put a little bit of sriracha. It calls for like half a teaspoon or more if you like it spicier. Just do that much. No, I'm not gonna make it too spicy. A little bit of ground ginger. Okay. And sugar. A couple of teaspoons of sugar. A couple of teaspoons. All right. All right, so I believe that's it for the sauce. I hope that's enough. It doesn't like the flavor of it, but I'm just gonna put a couple of rounds of oil in it, let that heat up. You're gonna start by putting in that onion. Okay, same way you did, not the green onion,
Right.
just the white onion. Go ahead and get that going in there for me. We're gonna put in some garlic. Course. And then we're going to put in some extra carrots. We've got like the julienne cabbage and carrots, the shredded cabbage and carrots in the coleslaw mix, because we didn't use all of that in the what did we make? Egg rolls. Thank you, darling. We're going to use those in this too, but we're going to add extra carrots. And we've got a little matchstick kind. And then we're gonna throw in the rest of that cabbage coleslaw mix. Now, just be careful, it's gonna get full. And we're also gonna throw in this chopped zucchini. I tried my best to make it into matchsticks. They're gonna be a little bigger than them carrots, but
Close enough.
that was real big. Hold on, I'll cut that one better. Okay.
And this will cook down a little bit, right?
Yeah. And then we've got snow peas. You just find them over in the produce section, and they're washed and ready to go. And we're gonna add those in too, nice and thin.
That really makes it look easy.
Okay.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gonna be a full little pan, baby. If you need the tongs, we can do that. But you just want to let it cook down a little bit. Are you eating what falls out all the time? Okay. Is add a little bit of salt, because salt will help bring out the water in them, and that salt bringing out the water means they'll become a little more tender, easier, and we'll take that help. All right, I've been watching my time. These noodles are ready. I'm gonna drain these.
There it is.
All right, so we've mixed in the noodles and all the veggie. You got it, baby? And I'm gonna start cooking the shrimp over here in this other pan, or the same pan we've used the whole time. And, honey, this sauce, you gotta pour that in there.
I poured in there.
We ended up about doubling what the recipe called for. Recipes for everything will be linked down below, including the one that our friends taught us, just kind of a typed up version for me. So it's not going to be, we don't like the way, well, we love Chinese food, even takeout, but we don't like the way it makes us feel later, the next morning, and all that. So this isn't going to make a, it's good?
That needs to be a regular.
That needs to be a regular.
Yes.
All right.
That is good.
All right, good. All right, so we're going to go, because this is literally his plate of food.
That's my dinner
So,
tonight, y'all.
We're going to go and eat it, and I can't wait to try a crab rangoon. It's gonna be good. So I got you some takeout for you, baby.
I appreciate it.
And we made a mess in the kitchen, but we don't care.
We had fun. We laughed. That's my favorite part of the week. And so we thank you for tuning in and watching. We thank you for all the support. I thank you for all the texts and all the phone calls I get and all the comments.
Yeah.
Don't forget, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It helps our channel out so much. And also hit that bell so it'll let you know when we have our next video that comes out. It'll notify you. All right, y'all, we're going to tell you good night, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Let's go eat.
Let's go eat.